You recall I said right back in whatever episode it was how you can't just use the word this without giving it something to refer to? What we have here is a fine example of that. This cursed blood doesn't necessarily refer to anything. Although, back in episode 1, I mentioned how this game has superb spelling, grammar, and punctuation for a D3 release. What we have here is a fine example of that. And horrific. It's one of those weird rules of the English language where we like to treat a non-vowel like a vowel, but only some of the time as we arbitrarily deem fit. Also, the concept of the Immaculate Conception turns up a lot in mythology. Like, a lot. And if the stories are to be believed, there's, let me see now, Perseus, Buddha, Quetzalcoatl, Attis, Krishnu, Horus, Mercury, Romulus, pretty sure Mithra, Genghis Khan, of all people, and actually the Virgin Mary herself, all born via Immaculate Conception. So, make of that what you will. Also, to submit the woman for 108 days might seem an oddly specific number, but that's because you don't know Japanese culture. 108 is the Japanese number for the number of earthly temptations that a person must overcome in order to reach nirvana. The number also turned up in Fatal Frame 1, you might recall, because the ghost list is 108 entries long. And I always think it's a shame that we, in the West, we don't have a, cultural buzzword of sorts like the number 108. By the way, I'm just going to wail on this guy during the loading screen. Yeah, take that, you undead jerk. I'll teach you to be there. Anyways, yeah, we don't have anything like the number 108. I mean, there's 42 if you want to be that way, but that one's never been as much fun for me. Anyways, after that Immaculate Inception, it's oh, by the way, hey, that is how you do an Inception pun, right there. After that Immaculate Inception, we begin a brand new level, the Wandering Beast Zombie. What on earth could that refer to? What indeed? What is a pretty appropriate word, actually. I know it's what I said when I saw it. It's also going to be the title of possibly this episode, or maybe the next episode, or... Yeah, thanks for targeting that guy in the background game, not the one I'm stood next to. Jeez. Anyways, yes, whenever I get to the boss of this stage, that episode's going to be called What? That's a good song, I really like that. Anyways, yes, you'll notice that we're back out of the mall and back in the big city. Perhaps for the best, because the mall confused me on account of... Well, it raised an interesting question, being, how could the zombies be pulling themselves out of the ground when we were on the second floor, or above a garage on the first floor? It was the second floor that we were on, right? We really need to standardise what first and second floor refer to, because what I think it is isn't what the rest of my countrymen think it is. Says to a customer the other day, "Oh, menswear's on the second floor of the shop," and her response was to tut disapprovingly and go, "I think you mean the first floor," which... Oh, dick move, Spider. Seriously. Anyways, no, that customer thing, that was all kinds of stupid, right? There are two floors in my shop. There's the one you enter when you come in the front door, and the one upstairs. What did she think that I meant? That, I don't know, I wanted to no-clip through the ceiling or something? Because that's not a thing you can do in real life. I tried. So yes, back in the city, and it's exactly the same city set as before, although one or two areas have opened up. Or rather, they will open up in the future, we just need to find the key. Although, as you've seen, we've actually taken a brand new path, which has brought us into familiar territory. Everyone's favourite locale, the basement garage. Now, there is a reason that we're here first, and it's to shave about 3 minutes off the level time. We don't need to come here until much later, but it does stop an arena from spawning, so this way is preferable. And I have to say, I'm really let down by this particular map. The garage, the basement parking lot, the car hole what the game keeps sending us back to. Because, I mean, look at it, it's very static and linear. It treats the cars as impenetrable columns when they could have been used for so much more than that. Like, okay, you ever play Gungrave or Gungrave Overdose? Those knew how to use scenery to their advantage, I tell you what. Like, you could use boxes, cars, other bigger characters as cover, but you could also use them as platforms and props for your next move. You know, you could bounce off the scenery and springboard yourself into the air, turn your whirling dervish ballistic frenzy of death into an airborne whirling Turkish delight ball-bearing whatever it is that I just said. I don't know. You think I listen to myself when I talk? I fade in and out. So hey, while we're here, something I've been meaning to tell you guys for the past 4 videos but never got round to doing. There's absolutely no reason to kill any of the zombies you see roaming the maps. None at all. The only ones that you absolutely have to kill are the ones in the arenas, the ones where you're walled in like the one we're doing now. I'm getting good at that pierce move, I like doing that. It's strangely satisfying, you know? Although to be fair, so is this. Oh no, look, everyone can see my bum! Love it. Anyways, yeah, the only ones you have to kill are in the arenas, so unless you're really hurting for EXP, and you probably will be the first few times you play through the game, you won't need to kill the ambient zombies. Ambient. I like that, ambient zombies. Makes them sound like they're hanging out in the chill-out lounge, just, you know, just relaxing, listening to some soothing beats. I have this one track, Ambience for Now. It's a mashup of Just For Now by Imogen Heap and Aquatic Ambience for Donkey Kong Country. And it's just about the most beautiful thing in the world, and listening to it will make you cry. You will cry the most manly tears! And, well, there's not really very many places you can go from there, is there? Huh. New topic, go! So I remembered a story that I started telling in the last game, but never got around to telling you guys. I've said on this channel before how I don't really drink alcohol. I mean, it's not through a moral or religious channel or anything like that. I just don't like the taste very much. But I made an exception some time back for the Christmas party we held at work, actually. We went out for a meal, which, to be honest, was a pretty mediocre affair. The food was kind of awful, and I wasn't sat with any of the cool or fun people, but whatever. Anyways, afterwards, the girls are going around saying, hey, we need to go to a club or something afterwards. And they were asking who was up for it and all that. I figure, you know what? I never go out. I should make a go of it and see what happens. So, yeah, went out with them. And throughout the whole evening, I had Vicky and Fiona, two of the cuter girls that I work with, repeatedly coming up to me going, Andy, finish this drink for me. Or, Andy, this drink's green, try it. Or what have you. And I actually had quite a bit in me by the end of the night. Not enough to get drunk or even a little tipsy, mind, but I certainly didn't abstain like I usually do. I mean, I will freely admit that I regretted it about 6 o'clock in the morning when I was curled up in a ball of spite and my stomach turned itself inside out, but during the night, I actually had a pretty good time. And I mostly feel that it's because I got to spend leisure time with some of the girls I work with. Because I genuinely think I've done well working where I do. Because the ratio of male to female workers is hugely slanted. Of the, there's 25 or so workers, 4 of us are guys. And that's pretty great. In fact, no, just the other day, I had 3 customers come up to me and say how lucky I must feel to work with so many cute girls day after day. And do you know what? I totally agree with them. I love my co-workers. Mostly. When they're not trying to obliterate me with alcohol. And actually, that's largely how I behave in real life. I tend to get on with the girls so much better than I do with the guys. I find that a lot of the guys I know, especially the guys that I work with, they're a little simpler than the girls, and they're a lot easier to homogenize. And I find that that's the same all over the world, in fact, which, I mean, that's why if you want to get in with the lads, just go, did anyone see the match last night? Because 2 or 1, all the guys in the room will turn to you and go, yeah, I did, mate. And you know what? Let me tell you something about that referee. I mean, they probably won't do it in a wide boy accent necessarily. but that's what'll be said. And I can't get behind that kind of thing. Like, at all. I mean, I want to talk about stuff in depth and in detail sometimes, not just, you know, that ref was a pillock and now titties. He said, as he played a game that he himself had summed up as comprising equal parts tits, ass and zombies. Although with that said, some of the girls I work with aren't much better, especially during the night shift. I mean, during the day, you can almost guarantee that maybe one or two girls will talk about their breasts or their bowel movements or whatever. But during the night shift, all bets are off. Especially since I'm one of only 2 guys who work night shifts, and the other one tends to keep to himself. Largely because, by conversing with the girls as I tend to do, I open myself up for all kinds of delightful topics. And I'm not going to tell you what they are, because it's hardly appropriate conversation for such a highbrow and classy Let's Play such as this one. Indeed. Although I'm pretty sure my good friend Jess will know precisely what I'm talking about, and I will thank you to keep it to yourself, Jess. So anyway, here's a sub-boss. Or at least what is meant to be a sub-boss. It's really just more of the same, except this time it's themed, because we have ourselves a zombie menagerie to deal with. First trick, or the first thing I do is, well, you're seeing it right now, tag in Rio, and she has the area attack sex appeal thing. And after that, it's generally a case of whittling them down with a few aerial strikes, I should say, and then either tagging in Aya, or, well, bursting into the middle of a bunch of guys and using the sex appeal. I think I'm going to use Aya for this particular one. And also, the game throws in Andre the Giant for no real reason. Was he ever described as an animal? I don't think he was. George Steele was the animal of that particular area. Andre was the monster, not the animal. Although... Oh, that is not fair, you guys. Seriously. And that is a fine place to pick up that key. And a fine place to stop the episode, I think. So, until next time, goodbye.